Imagine a steel door between you and what you need. For years you have stood outside, pressing your ear to the metal, shouting through the seam. Prayers that feel like echoes, petitions that return as static. You leave feeling unheard, small, diminished. What if the problem is not that God is distant, but that the method you're using is designed for a supplicant, not for a sovereign calling? What if, in minutes, you could turn the handle from the inside because the key was inside you all along, located, symbolically, at the pineal gland? The little inner antenna many traditions point to as the place reception becomes recognition. This is not a promise of miraculous cures or guaranteed riches. This is a shift of posture and practice designed to awaken your subjective sensitivity, your capacity to sense, to command, to align. Think of the pineal here as an antenna, a subtle seat of attention and reception. We will treat it as such, a symbol and an experiential center you can train. The purpose of what follows is urgent and simple: to move you from asking to calling, from pleading to declaring, from outside of the system to opening the code within. For a moment, consider a biblical example without twisting it. When Jesus stood before the tomb of Lazarus, the language of the Gospels shows confidence in authority. He did not plead for permission. He issued a command and trusted the power of that posture. Likewise, when Jesus confronted the man with the withered hand, the stance was not timid bargaining, but authoritative action grounded in identity. I am not saying Jesus taught this exact modern method. He taught truth, and his posture models what it looks like to act from rooted authority. Use those passages as models of posture, not as an instruction manual for techniques they could not have named. Across history, some teachers spoke of a lower architect shaping the visible order, what ancient mystics called the demiurge, and of intermediaries labeled archontes, a term describing obstructive forces or controllers in certain mystical maps. Use these terms as metaphors for conditioning, fear, and the mental patterns that keep you on the outside of your own door. We live inside systems of language and habit that train us to ask rather than to know. That conditioning is neutral. It can be noticed and shifted. What I will give you now is a short, practical protocol in 3 parts: recognition, authority, command. These are the 3 keys. Each is simple to state and specific to practice. Together, they form a circuit that, when activated, increases your ability to tune the pineal as an inner antenna. Again, not a medical claim, but an experiential shift you can test for yourself. Recognition is the visceral remembering. It is the moment you stop acting small and remember you belong to the source. Practically, sense your origins before you seek outcomes. This is felt, not argued. An inward nod that you are already connected. A practical cue: place your hand at your sternum, breathe, and say to yourself, I am of the source. Feel it as a bodily fact, not as a wish. Authority is owning who you are in the system. Authority does not come from boasting. It comes from a settled identity that refuses to be defined by lack. Practically, make a short, calm, declarative statement about who you are in relation to the source. 1 sentence, spoken with even breath, without drama. The content matters less than the stance. Command is the focused issuance. It's a short, energetic decree that intends an outcome and releases it. Practically, use present perfect or past assertive phrasing, phrases that treat the intention as already complete. This is a linguistic and psychological trick. You shift your mind into the field of completion rather than negotiation. Before we practice, a small, simple step. If you resonate with the idea that your posture needs to change, type in the comments right now. I activate my inner antenna. This is one small social anchor. No heavy ritual. Just a public notch of intention. If you're ready, stay with me. We move from explanation into a short, safe practice you can do in minutes. Begin by settling your posture. Sit or stand with a spine that feels open but supported. Keep the breath easy. The method has 4 sequential moves: disconnect, descent, resonance, and voice, release. The entire sequence takes roughly 2 to 5 minutes when practiced calmly. I will guide you through each step. Listen and do as you are led. Remember, this is experiential. You are training sensitivity. Step 1. Disconnect. The goal is not to empty your mind by force, but to withdraw attention from the constant noise. Close your eyes if that helps. For about 60 seconds, bring attention to the exhale more than the inhale. Let thoughts come and go like weather, and gently place your focus on the space behind your eyes, or on the sensation of air leaving the body. Do not chase thoughts. Do not judge them. Simply move your attention away from the external demands and toward your interior field. A simple mental cue can help. On every exhale, think silently, soften. Softening reduces grip. In this quieting, you interrupt the conditioned supplicant pattern, prayer as pleading, and create a field that can receive. Step 2. Descent. This is a redirection of attention from surface worry to a center. If you prefer a pineal-focused approach, briefly allow a soft, non-forcing attention at the midpoint of the head, an imagined antenna at the roof of the skull. Then let the attention settle down into the heart center. Feel the movement as coming home, from crown to chest. Alternatively, visualize a gentle elevator traveling down the spine into a chamber behind the breastbone where presence sits. The point is to land in the heart as an integrating node, where reception meets will. Countless traditions link the head and heart. Here we combine the subtle antenna of the pineal with the ethical center of the heart. Stay with that felt center for another 30 to 60 seconds. Breathe into it. Let it thicken into a quiet presence. Step 3. Resonance and voice. This is where tone and declaration meet. Feel the presence at your heart and a quiet openness at the pineal. Now choose a short, declarative script to speak aloud. Keep it simple, present perfect in tone, language that asserts completion. Say in a calm and measured voice, Source, my inner antenna is awake. I align. The block dissolves. It is done. Or use the protocol below if it feels better to you. Monad, I am present. I claim my authority. The limitation dissolves. Alignment is commanded. It is done. Use the word that resonates. Monad, source, father. Whatever locates you in a sense of original connection. When you speak, let the sound vibrate in your chest first, then let it unfurl upward through the throat and crown. Do not strain. The power in this moment is not volume, but clarity of intent combined with felt embodiment. If you prefer a Christian-flavored invocation that keeps continuity with gospel posture, you can say, Father, I stand in your presence. I receive authority to act. The obstruction yields. It is done. The content shifts, but the technique remains. A short declarative issuance, spoken aloud, placed from the center of being. Important technical notes. Keep the breath calm. Do not hyperventilate. Keep the script to 1 to 3 sentences. Do not make long petitions. If resistance arises, internal chatter, sudden judgment, laughter, name it briefly in your head as noise and return to the resonance. The practice requires a soft but firm redirection, not a fight. Step 4. Release. This is the most neglected move in many spiritual methods. After you declare, do not stare at the results. Let go. Imagine placing the decree on a river and watching it float. If you have used "it is done," keep that posture now. Trust the language you have used. Avoid obsessing, analyzing, or replaying the words. Return to natural breathing and let the body integrate for 30 to 90 seconds. This is not passive resignation. It is confident, non-interference. You have closed the circuit. Rest in the fact of that closure. After the practice, expect a feedback loop. There are 3 common signs that the line you just opened is active: collapse, echo, and neutrality. Collapse. Old structures may briefly fall away. Patterns you relied on, stories of lack, relationships that were scaffolding for old identity, can feel shaky. This can look and feel like disorientation or temporary loss. Treat collapse as part of the clearing process, not as punishment. If practical complications arise that require professional help, medical, mental health, legal, seek appropriate support. Do not interpret collapse as a sign that you are broken. Echo. You will notice repeated phrases, synchronicities, or people and events echoing a theme. That repeating rhythm is a confirmation that the field is resonating. Do not fetishize coincidence. See it as a signal to stay steady in the posture you established. Neutrality. Over time, a calmer center will develop. You'll find you are less reactive. That neutrality is not indifference but alignment, a place from which more accurate perception and decisive action arise. Expect interference. Call it conditioning, archontic noise, or cultural static. The labels matter less than the reality. Patterns will attempt to reassert themselves. When doubt arises, notice it, name it, and return to the 3 keys. A short corrective phrase can help. Recognition, authority, command. Repeat it silently and move back into breath and posture. Avoid the trap of arguing with doubt. Witness it and recenter. A realistic schedule. Test the line once today with the short method above. Practice the full protocol 3 times over the next week. Keep one session short, 2 minutes, to reinforce the habit when you are busy. Keep another session quiet and reflective. 5 minutes, when you have space. Track the echoes. A short journal note after each practice helps you notice patterns without obsessive monitoring. A brief, gentle caution. This work affects perception. It is not a substitute for medical or psychological care. If you are under professional treatment, continue it. If the practice uncovers intense material or you feel unsafe, pause and consult a qualified professional. The intention here is expansion and alignment, not isolation or harm. Now, as a focused invocation you can use at the end of any session, speak these lines aloud with steady breath. They are short and declarative. Choose the one that fits your language and faith background. Source, I stand present. My inner antenna receives. The blockage dissolves. Alignment is complete. It is done. Or, monad, I am here. I claim my authority. The limitation dissolves. I thank you because you have answered. Say them once, twice if it feels right, and then release. The immediate test is practical. Notice the posture you carry in the hours after the practice. Do you find yourself making decisions with less anxiety? Do conversations land differently? Do small synchronistic alignments occur? These subjective shifts are the measures we can work with. They are not promises, but they are reliable indicators of traction. A few final clarifications about the language I've used. Words like demiurge and archontes come from ancient mystical maps. Here they name patterns of obstruction, inner voices or cultural scripts that function like filters. Monad is a term for the primal source or unity from which we sense connection. Use these terms as metaphors to orient attention, not as dogmatic assertions. If you did the practice and the posture landed, let this be the beginning of a new relationship with prayer and intention. No more asking from a place of lack. Begin to practice calling from the posture of recognition. The more consistently you move through the disconnect, descent, resonance, release circuit, the more natural this posture becomes. One last encouragement before I close. Think of the doorway image again. You do not need to batter the door. Recognize the hinge you already possess, claim the authority you have been given by your connected identity, and state the command with clarity. Then release. The inner antenna will respond to the quality of your presence. If you want deeper guided sessions on this method, short weekly practices that build sensitivity and stewardship over this inner antenna, subscribe and join the next live where we will practice together and respond to common questions. For now, go and test the line gently this week. Observe collapse without panic, notice echoes without clutching, and allow neutrality to root. Your posture is the key. Your voice is the seal. The door is not locked from the other side. You hold the code. Let us close with a short prayer of recognition and trust. Address whichever name of the source sits true for you and say out loud, Monad, I stand present. I receive the connection. I claim my authority to be a conduit of good in this life. Thank you, because it is done. Breathe in, breathe out. Walk into your day as one who has been remembered and who remembers.